Since this event rewards you for using both Synchro and XYZ monsters, Coelacanth was just the perfect deck. Throughout the event, this deck had a consistent 80% win rate. In this replay, I start off my combo by sending Coelacanth to the graveyard. I summon Dugaris to special summon Coelacanth from the graveyard. Then use Coelacanth's effect to summon Launcher, 2 level 3 tuners, and a Leaf Fish. Griefes and Coelacanth synchro into Baron. Baron getting an attack boost from Griefes. We use Baron to remove Dugaris from the field. Monoceros is then used to bring Coelacanth back to the field. We synchro summon into Dragite in the extra monster zone to make room for more fish. Leaf Fish then shuffles Griefes back into the deck. Coelacanth summons 3 more fish. We synchro into Chengying, getting an attack boost from Griefes. Then we XYZ summon into a rank 4, Stealth Kragan being really good here. We pass the turn to our opponent, and sure enough they're using Swordsoul. So we negate the first spell, they summon a Moye, summoning a token, and we pop the token because they might have a Vishita, and they concede. So with this deck you want to go first and play around your opponent's potential hand traps. The best hand has a way to bait Ash Blossom. Here we use Pot of Desires, they negate it with Ash Blossom. Then we normal summon a fish, we special summon Coelacanth with Ice Jade Tremora, we activate its effect, our opponent tries to negate it with Imperm, Coelacanth then tributes a fish to negate any card that targets it, and now we can go full combo. It's unlikely that your opponent will have more than 2 hand traps to stop you, though Niburu is still a pretty big threat for this deck. If you do get past their hand traps, they will likely not have enough resources to deal with a full board of monsters. So here the opponent knows where this is going and just decides to scoop. In this replay, we cross our fingers and hope our opponent doesn't have an Ash Blossom. If our opponent has an Imperm, we'll still be able to XYZ summon. We XYZ into Bahamut Shark, summon Totally Awesome, and pass our turn. Opponent normal summons Moye, activate its effect, we try to negate it with Toad, and they negate Toad with Call by the Grave. They synchro summon Qishao. We negate Moye with Ash Blossom. They summon Strategist Longyang. Then they summon Qishao Longyan. Bahamut Shark cannot be destroyed by battle because it was summoned using Right Hand Shark. So they pass their turn. We go straight into battle phase with Bahamut Shark. So we can XYZ summon Zeus. We use Zeus's effect, but it gets negated by Qishao. Xixing then banishes Zeus, and because we have no monsters, we can summon Right Hand Shark, we special summon Angler, and tribute summon Coelacanth, using its effect to summon 4 fish from the deck. We synchro summon Baron, and using Baron to destroy Iris Swordsoul. We then synchro into Monoceros to special summon Coelacanth from the graveyard. Then synchro summon into Dragite, using Leaf Fish to shuffle 3 fish back into the deck. And we draw a card, triggering Coelacanth's effect to summon 3 fish and synchro summon into Chengying. We XYZ summon into Stealth Kragan using Stealth Kragan to pop Qishao. Our opponent then summons Qishao again. We chain Stealth Kragan to destroy Qishao. Our opponent activates Strategist in hand and we negate it with Baron, destroying it. They activate a spell and we negate it. And they concede. Our first move is to use Ice Jade Cradle to check if our opponent has an Ash Blossom. There was no pause in the game, so they likely don't have one. We activate Pot of Desires, we get lucky here and draw cards to combo. We activate Foolish Goods to send Ice Barrier to the graveyard and add Coelacanth to our hand. Usually people will only activate their Imperm or Veiler after you have activated Coelacanth's effect to discard 1 card as a cost. So here I special summon Coelacanth first to check if the opponent has an Imperm or Veiler. If the game pauses, then I know they have an Imperm or Veiler, so I could normal summon a fish to protect Coelacanth. In this replay, the game did not pause, so I can save my normal summon for later. So we do our combo, but because we're waterlocked thanks to using Ice Barrier's effect, we can't summon Baron. Instead we summon Chengying. Now we can bring Coelacanth back, summon Dragite. We use Leaf Fish to shuffle any of our fish back into the deck and draw a card. We activate Coelacanth's effect, but this time we summon Tuna and 2 level 4 fish. We summon Stealth Kragan. If you only have water monsters in your graveyard, you can summon Launcher from the graveyard, use Coelacanth and the Tuna, you can Synchro summon into a level 9 water synchro. Trishula banishes one card from their hand. Now we can normal summon Buzzsaw and exi summon Bahamut Shark and Toad. Toad can recycle our Buzzsaw or any water monster and add it to our hand. Our opponent is playing a Pendulum deck. Normally you don't want to negate the first Pendulum scale because your opponent likely has another one as backup, so I was a bit rash here. I negate the other Pendulum card this time. They use Pot of Desires, boosting Chang'Ying's attack and allowing us to use its effect to banish one card from their field and another from their graveyard. And with that they concede. In this replay, we negate the first Lyrucus search card. It was enough to end their turn. Now we do have Grass Looks Greener, but we activate Unexpected Die first, bait our opponent's Ash Blossom, and they activate a Max C. Now we activate Grass Looks Greener. Our opponent's field is wide open, so I'm gonna risk it and just go in for a one-turn kill. We use Coelacanth's effect to summon 4 fish from the deck, and then our opponent activates a Niburu and clears the board. The game isn't over just yet. We use Leaf Fish to draw a card, and then use Ice Barrier to add Griefeys to our hand. We haven't used up our normal summon yet, so we can get Griefeys on the board. Use its effect to summon a level 4 Sea Serpent from the graveyard, then Synchro summon Monoceros. Coelacanth then uses its effect to summon a Tuner and 2 level 4 fish. We exi summon Stealth Kragan, and then we can Synchro summon into Chang'Ying. Griefeys boosting Chang'Ying's attack to 5,500. Kragan then pops Niburu, and now we can go in for the win. We draw a second grass and bait our opponent with one of them. We activate our second grass and it resolves. We use Leaf Fish to draw a card. We activate Right Hand Shark, and they banish it with DD Crow. The opponent likely has a back row that targets, so we get a fish on the field. Then we add Tremor to our hand, send Icebound to the graveyard, and then summon Coelacanth from the hand. We set Icebound on the field, then activate Coelacanth's effect. We tribute a fish to negate Imperm, and Chi-Shao negates Coelacanth. We normal summon Ash Blossom and Synchro into Chang'Ying. We banish Nettle from the graveyard to trigger Chang'Ying's effect, using Chang'Ying to banish Baron. Our opponent uses Swordsoul of Taya to banish a card, so we use Chang'Ying to banish the token and one card from their graveyard, and they pass their turn. We draw into Buzzsaw and normal summon it. Our opponent uses Max C, so we just go into the battle phase and they concede. My deck uses Grass Looks Greener, but a 40 card variant works just fine and can be more consistent. There will be a link to the decks in the description. In the extra deck, you only need 5 cards for the combo. Monoceros and Jagaris to get Coelacanth from the field, Baron to remove Jagaris, and Chang'Ying and Dragite because they are the most useful water synchros. You can also throw in White Aura Whale if you want. Toad, Kragan, and Zeus are highly recommended. You can even fit Crooked Cook, but other exes you can find in the Shark deck will also work. And that's it for now. See you guys around.